Yo, sound check. Early morning shit. Sitting having thoughts about particular things. A lot of thoughts running through my head and shit. And it's like I don't think people really understand. It's real simple when it comes to this connection thing and spirituality, divine being principle, the understanding of what it is. You know, life will be a lot better guided completely by divine energy, right? But some people here have a larger physical presence than they do a spiritual presence. And the second, in the crossway. I'll say that just in the crossway. So when you go to the other side, it's like spiritual aspects of solidification, right? Spiritual aspects of solidification. That's like it's different. It explains life in almost a comic book ish type way. You know what I mean? Like it gives you a lot of imaginary aspects because the energy of thought actually stretches the creation aspect in the spiritual world. So I notice here, like I pay real close attention to what people say, how they say it, their facial expressions, the um the way they try to hold back um their personal hate towards certain things. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. And I don't even mean like particular normal conversations. Like I can see your soul hating on shit. Like you wouldn't even like you might feel it and you might try to like block it, but I can see you hate that. Like it don't even matter. Like and it be in our own culture. Like, we got some of our own people is physically endowed in a lot of different ways. So then when it comes to the spiritual endowment, they can't really tap in. So this is why they go to physical things to read the universe. Ultimately, divine was heading people in the way of releasing from any physical connection. So therefore, you manifest with just with just the flip of your wrist. That's being in the practice of being the divine being or the physical God being in the flesh. When you start to harness your spiritual energy without any other tangible materials between you and the universe. So the more I see people who are gravitating to harness these particular values, ultimately, it shows lack of spiritual connection. And, I was apt before to um, have like, a rosary when I was young or beads and all this and whatever. And sometimes I still like, because I like them, but it's a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? For the most, it's like people, they reach for these things to answer spirituality, when in fact, it should be a part of your spirituality. And you have to understand what that is. So when we start going back to Kemet and understanding what these things meant, they didn't have items to express the tangibleness or connect to the physical or spiritual aspect. They didn't use items for that. They used the items to express their spirituality. That's something completely different. So here they are creating items, right? Things are things are manifesting in their life or is coming to them, right? And because you're rising your vibration. So these things end up being a part of your life. They got that concept mixed up with you obtaining physical things, right? So then you will start going through life and you like this, you're gonna buy that, you know what I'm saying? And you felt it was the same essence, when in fact it wasn't the expression of your spirituality. That wasn't the expression, that was the expression of your want capability. So we got mixed up with that. When everything's supposed to be, or everything that you're dealing with should be mixed in with your spiritual aspect. Your physical is existing. This is why you don't have to keep mixing things with your physical, because you're literally existing. Like it kind of it's like the default when you're seen. Why else are you making things for you to be seen? It's like, shout out to my brother Middle Eye, right? I was listening to his he got this spoken word he did speaking towards his relationship. I can't remember the name. I think it's called "I'm Done" or something like that. But he had said in it, he was like, "Why am I trying to be seen and I'm 6'9"? And that shit was funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the way he said it. He was like, "Why I'm trying to be seen? I'm 6'9". Like, why do I have to try? I'm 6'9". You know what I'm saying? Like, it made impeccable sense. But ultimately, people don't get this ratio or even comprehend that ratio. I don't even know if he comprehended it fully. I'm not saying that it's a slight to him. I'm just saying I don't know if he comprehended the whole retrospect of that statement. See, because when you are placed in the physical, you are never not seen. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there, does it make a sound? Well, a person would beg to differ because they would say if nobody's there to hear it, how is the sound recorded, right? Well, in the same right, you don't have to be the recorder to know something is existing. Like other things will know it's existing, like the other counterparts to its value of existence. You know what I'm saying? Like that shows you just how humanity gravitates to how their oversight of life has more of a particular value than other things in the circumference of the actual circumstance. That's like the tree falling in the wilderness. Does it make a sound? Well, sure, it makes a sound because all the other trees hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's in a forest with trees. It doesn't have to be a person there. You know what I mean? But that was a test to see how human you were with your decision making. You know what I'm saying? So this goes back to the tangible understanding of spirituality. For the most part, people want to seem deemingly the spiritualists of connections and bringing in knowledge, but ultimately you are still using middle aspects, and you are coded with a middle aspect. So it's like you're making it harder for you to even hear the messages, and then you're so happy with the way you see personal things that you distort the universal message. There is not one message in the universe that speaks over or under to any equal spiritual value. We're all parts of the same whole. So we have to be mindful when we're speaking about things and we're downplaying things with the way we speak towards different aspects, knowing that you are trying to make others' situations sound stronger or more powerful the way you describe it because you know lack thereof of your own spiritual connection. So we have to understand these things. Sometimes people look deeper into situations and then they get their feelings hurt. And Divine says, unless I show you these truths, don't travel these roads because they're going to be distorted. And most time, people don't have patience or they don't have the subsequent value to sit still and actually listen and learn and go through discipline. So they gather a whole bunch of information that's unchecked and is unvalidated in its fullest aspect. But it will be what's the good word to use? It'll be validated by it'll be validated by lighter sources of those connection values. You know what I'm saying? Like things that want to distort these particular understandings that you may carry. They want to distort them. So because they want to distort them in you, you'll be quick to listen because you don't have no retrospect on this knowledge that you're getting. You don't have nothing solidified to explain it to you. So you're listening for anything to show you. That means you're letting in things that are not truly there to guide you correctly. You know how I know this? Because divine don't wait. Divine doesn't have to. And then the way you hear, it's in your feelings. Like divine knows your flesh is blocking everything. So when you come to divine for the knowledge, he puts it in your flesh. Like you feel it through the flesh. You know what I'm saying? You feel the truth through the flesh. I hear people talk about when they get these messages or how they read and they say words and they'll say, I've heard this or it was spoken to me this way. Divine will never speak a word to you. For divine to literally open its mouth and say sound, it would crack your existence in 30,000 places. And this is just a fact. So when I hear people say divine spoke to me, I know you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like this just I just know that fact. That's a fact. And most people who deal in spirituality know this because there's ratio to vibration, and certain frequencies will never reach your ears. Never. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. Divine is never going to say a word. It's never going to be a word mumbled out of the mouth of divine, particularly to one individual. It would break it would break the solidification of existence. If divine spoke, it would rattle every single life in existence. This is just a fact. You know what I'm saying? So most people don't understand these things. And it's a good way for you to separate particular values so you don't get lost in this world, with following the wrong things. And majority of the time people don't take this into consideration. You know what I'm saying? They just listening to whatever anybody has to say. And then also you got to keep in mind, divine's energy won't make you angry. It won't make you vengeful. It won't make you plot and plan. Divine's knowledge is fortitude. It's going to give you an overall complete understanding. So you'll feel balanced every time you hear divine. And it's not a hearing, it's a feeling. Like you feel it, almost like a great day, you know what I'm saying? But greater than that. And it keeps expressing the value of ultimate. Divine will never speak a word to you. You know what I'm saying? Never. Because we are connected all together. So if divine picked individuals out to speak to, that would ripple through existence. This is why we be like, you already know the vibes. That's where that term comes from. We feeling the waves. You feel the waves. It's like feeling earthquakes. Everybody feeling them at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the vibes. So to separate that understanding from your own, or to garner the understanding as it's personal for your own, that shows you that you're confused and you're being manipulated by forces unknown. You know what I mean? And divine don't play them damn games and never play them games because divine is almighty. You know what almighty means? like why you have to explain these things different? You know what I'm saying? Like why they got to come out of context. So people are constantly growing in the wrong direction. And then ultimately you are granted the wrong direction just so you get a time to change from it. When you was in school, right, and it's some real shit, you started in kindergarten. They gave you crayons, they gave you construction paper, and they gave you paint. And they let you do what you want. And they would like pull the toys out the box and let you. And the whole thing was not to see what you learned in kindergarten, but it was to see how you interact with everybody. It was just to see how you would move with everybody, right? As you get older, the classes change. The classes go to another aspect of learning. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you put down the paints and stuff, and you pick up pencils and paper in the book, right? And then the next year, it gets a little bit more intense. The books get thicker. You know what I'm saying? You get assignments, you get responsibility, you learn new words. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's changing every single time. So, do you think divine is saying, "Hey, go grab these things right here, and put these things together, and do this and do that, and you'll be able to hear me clearly"? I don't think so. I think if it's granted for you to use them a particular time, it's just for you to strengthen the value of what you have. And once you start understanding that you don't need those things to access, you start training yourself on how to be free from these things. You see? So most people don't sit down and think about that. They're just what you call opportunists. So every time you see something that's of value, you want to gravitate to it, put your hands on it, and say you're doing something. Well, that speaks to less of connection to the divine. I'm telling you, yo, y'all got to start studying these things a little different because your actions is describing your connection or your value. So then you don't want to be a hypocrite spiritually, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be lying to yourself spiritually because you're ultimately going to put yourself in the turmoil, and this is going to be your karma. This is going to be your karma. So what my grandfather used to say to me, people want shit and don't understand what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you saying this is what you want, but you don't even know why you want it. You just want it because you see it. You know what I'm saying? And as a kid, hearing those things, it made me learn shit. Because I didn't want somebody to say that to me. I didn't want somebody to tell me you don't understand what's going on. You just want to be a part. My grandfather saying that to me made me feel a particular type of way. You know what I'm saying? So I took it upon myself to study and learn things my way. And I wouldn't say nothing about what I learned. I would just keep it to myself because people like to take advantage, you know what I'm saying? Especially when they think you don't know. So that's a power. When you start obtaining a particular knowledge and people move a certain way, that's a power you have gained because I'm going to allow you to move that way. Go ahead, do what you got to do. You're just showing the universe, you're showing your higher self, you're showing me your true self. You never, a scheme never gets past nobody. Negative energy never gets past, especially empaths. We pick up that shit like motherfuckers throwing dirt in the water. We don't have to say nothing. We don't have to say, "Ooh, I caught you. Ooh, this is what's going on." We ain't got to do none of that. Oh, fuck that. You lie. You ain't. Why expel energy? See, people who are used to that particular energy, that's how they expect you to gauge life. So when you don't respond like that, they think you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit is weird. I'm so fly with this shit. I tell you I know right to your face, like, nah, I be knowing shit. I just don't say nothing. I say that just like that. I always be like, yo, this nigga lying. Nah, cause I be too humble, you know what I'm saying? And Devon be like, yo, I'm gonna show you shit, but you gotta stay out your character, cause you gotta understand divine knowledge is not human knowledge. So in order for you to really hear it, you gotta separate from your own values, because your thoughts gonna get in the way. Your energy is gonna get in the way every single time. The more you try to be human and then hear divine, it's gonna be distorted. It's already coming through a refraction. The light coming through the water, right, hitting the dome, and then coming out here is flipping, it's turning over. So this is why we get the spiral from. It's constantly flipping over because it has to be refracted through. And while it's being refracted through, it's being finite. It's being purified. So in a sense, because refracted light thins out as it goes through different levels of reflection. So, understanding that particular understanding, the energy or the frequencies that's coming down, they're being refracted through the water, they're traveling, being conducted through the water, and then they hit the dome. After they hit the dome, you know what I'm saying? After they hit the dome, they they flip over and then they come to you and they go through your flesh. They flip through your flesh and then they go to your light, and your light explains what that is, right? Your light explains what that is. Why you think the Frankenstein story was about the dude hitting a dead body with electricity, trying to give it life. It's alive, it's alive. He sewed the body up and he hit it with electricity. He kept hitting it with powerful volts, enough to put a core in him. He wanted to put a cipher in him. You know what I'm saying? The cipher would have been personally charged electricity in itself. So this is why he had two electrical bolts on his neck. He wanted to be able to keep the conduit inside of him, just like original beings. So understanding how these things look around the world, and how they manifested in different stories, and how it's all the same thing. They basically trying to harness the divine energy. That's it. That's all it's ever been. Harness the divine energy for yourself. So ultimately, you have to understand what this means. You don't need a conduit. You are the divine energy. So get out your feelings. You walk around here hating on different zodiac signs. People walk around here hating on different people. People walk around here just hating. You hate because you just hate it. I'm like, yo, this shit is funny to me. Like, why people move like that? Why they move like that? And then Devon be like, because they in their flesh. Be like, your word. So it's that's a human endeavor. That's just them feeling more human. You see what I'm saying? Like that should be deep like that. Like, damn, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's a human endeavor. Shit is crazy. Like it's just crazy. Like so your job is to manifest being able to carry divine energy in a human body. It shows your high spiritual capability. It's like saying I got my welding tools. Yeah, I'm a man, but I put these welding gloves on and that welding gun, I'm going to work. I know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Reverse that polarity when it comes to divine. I got divine energy in me. I don't gotta pick up nothing. I spark electricity. You see what I'm saying? I move and bring forth static. You know what I mean? I tap into the ether. I see things happen before they happen. I don't need nothing for that but me. I need to stay still. Watch them sigils start popping up on your flesh. Watch that light start shining through. You know what I'm saying? People scared to see that second level because you think it's something else. They afraid of that second level, yo. You know what I'm saying? That Ra's going to see. I said this shit in one of my songs. I was like, if I start irradiating, I'll be giving you cancer. I'm born in the middle of the year, the middle kid to the middle verse. So the middle part of me is the crest of the universe. Your creation started with me first as I disperse. If I never was created, then we all will fall apart. I'm like a transformer. When I spit, we all spark. This shit crazy, yo. Like divine know these things. And this is why he set it in motion for us to see him this way. We was never supposed to be a part of anything physical. We was just supposed to experience it. But the more we went into the physical, we started merging with the way you touch. This is how you got the qualities of earth, air, water, fire. The merge started happening. See, water is intuitive. They say intuitive. That means it's crossing through. It goes in, to, and then if, on, into, and then on. So this is why through the water you can go to another water and then go into the universe. It tells you itself in its own attributes. But you know what? Indoctrination pulls people away, and you take these words and you understand them how they give them to you, instead of listening to them literally. You scared to make them work for you. You scared to take their false energy and make it work for you, like it's gonna be wrong. You understand this concept of reality? Like you literally scared to change anything you ever heard. You'll say, nah, that's not right. Who tells what makes right or wrong right or wrong? Divine is the greatest and the worst, if possibly choose to be. Who tells divine what the value of those multiply into be? Nothing. So the egotistical value of being human, separating yourself and adding failure to the problem of pain and multiplication by the reciprocation of the spiritual understanding of light. So that means you're degrading your light by choice and thought. You're killing it just by your belief and thought. Your emotions and default, grabbing things and giving the value of your light to harness something that you already have. It's like I'm giving away food just to eat food. You see what I'm saying? Like you cooked all the food, you went and gave people your plate, and then they came back and gave you your plate to eat. Like it don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like being it's like oxymoronish. You know what I'm saying? Like it, you shouldn't have to do that. Like why would you put more gas in something that's full? Like you're full of spiritual light that works at your fingertips. So understanding that you have notches in your fingers, that you have five of those on both hands and toes. You got elbows that rose up to the shoulder bone, connect to the neck, that holds the head above the heavens. Boy, you a threat. Boy, you a threat. That's all I'm saying. So look, I love y'all, man. I ain't gonna say and talk y'all to death. I just wanted to come bring this little jewel. I was sitting here, these thoughts was going through my head and I couldn't sleep. I woke up like three something, so some energies woke me up. So you already know the vibes. Love, Naga.